Ghosts, spirits, poltergeists, demons. Do they exist? Is there life after life? Are there unseen entities around us? Can they communicate? Do you believe? What happens in the shadows doesn't always stay in the shadows. Live from Northwest Georgia, covering the region and beyond, this is Georgia Paranormal Radio. And now, here's your host, Mike Watkins.
Good evening! Welcome to another edition of Georgia Paranormal Radio. This is your host, Mike Watkins, and for some reason I sound like a game show host. That's kind of weird. We're glad that you've joined us tonight. We were going to have a special guest via the old Skype interface, but some wires got crossed, and I guess he's not able to reschedule for a while. So instead of a special guest, I have two special guests in studio here. And Cindy's back, feeling better, which is good. David Westbrooks is with me. Again, it's like you're here every week now. For some reason, I can't do it alone. I don't know why.
Or you can't get rid of me, one of the
Either way. I called David in tonight. We, with the cancellation, which just occurred last night, we were kind of running short of show ideas, and I called David and said, hey, how about we do this? And so David's here to help me with this show, because bad planning, I guess. Bad circumstances. So hopefully we'll have a good show for you good folks tonight. And actually, this show idea, David, comes from some listener feedback.
Yeah. We've always said during the program, if you've got something that you want to talk about, if you'll send us an email, we'll do the best that we can to talk about it. If we don't know about it, we'll find out about it. Absolutely.
And this listener is a young man. Not going to say his full name on here because he's under 18. And I'll call him JD.
Okay, that'll work.
He's from up north. 17-year-old listener. And wow, what a good email, man. I responded back to you. First, he called me Mr. Watkins, so I thought it might have been for my dad or something. You know, Mr. Watkins. That's no, nobody ever calls me that unless I'm in trouble. But
it could be to the point that you're getting old enough now that they're going to start calling you Mr.
Oh God. Don't ever do that. But anyway, he says that he's been listening since the beginning. He's interested in the paranormal for many years, even though he's only 17. Gathered knowledge from different books, podcasts, TV shows, and documentaries. But he says he must tell me that as far as the portable media shows go, ours is his favorite.
That's what we was talking about last week. They're not fans, they're friends.
They're friends, absolutely.
This is one of our friends.
And he said his second favorite show was another show. I'll go ahead and plug on Ghostly Talk. It's a good show. I don't know if you've ever listened to it. It's a good show.
It's a very good program.
And but evidently we're beating Ghostly Talk in his point of view. So wow, yeah, that's wow. That's all I can say. He looks forward to each new episode with great anticipation. And man, if I got you bamboozled, I must seem like a great guy. Or I seem like a great guy.
Oh, you are.
When I'm sleeping, maybe.
No, you're an okay guy. You really are.
Oh, dear Lord.
On a scale from 1 to 10, I'll give you 6. That's above average. 5 being average, that's above average, Mike.
Not much, though.
Well, you were
JD, I was thinking more like 9.
You were downing yourself worse than that. I said you're above average, and you're taking it offensively.
It's okay if I down myself.
Let's
see. Yeah.
That's when somebody else does it.
Well, sure.
Okay, well, in that case, I'll raise it up to a 7.5. How's that?
And that concludes this episode of Georgia. No. Yeah, I'll take what I can get. I don't care. That's better than most of my people that I work with say I am. So
it's better than what I rank.
Yeah, well, you rank pretty high in my book. I don't know. I take your name off that restaurant's bathroom wall every time I go in there.
Defend my honor.
Defend your honor.
If you've ever had to climb a tower with a can of spray paint to defend your sister's honor,
you might be a redneck.
Right.
Well, anyway, JD, we thank you. We thank you for being one of our loyal listeners here. I replied to you, and You know, obviously, like I said in the email, dude, you got to be smarter than the average person. And, you know, because you like us.
Well, yeah, he ranks up there.
He's good. He's
very well spoken, young man.
Very well spoken, absolutely. And so, you know, I sent him an email back, Dave, and he actually sent me another email. And it just so happens it was very fortuitous that he sent us this email because
I didn't know you knew Latin.
Latin, Greek, Aramaic, Hebrew,
Fortuitous.
French, Spanish, English.
I don't think that's French.
It's not.
Okay. Well,
it's not Latin either.
You're using words above my head, Mike.
Oh. It was a good thing that he sent us this email.
Now that I understand.
Yeah.
That I understand.
Yeah, he sent.
I might have been born in Chicago, but I was raised here in Georgia.
Are you really born in Chicago?
Chicago, Illinois, Cook County.
Really?
Unfortunately, my parents had enough sense to get out of there when I was about 6 weeks old.
Wow. Things I never knew.
Yeah.
Wow. Incredible. Well, anyway, you know, we get off topic when we get together. That's so weird. I don't know what's up with that.
We're crazy.
Possibly. So anyway, this he sent me
talking to herself.
I do that too. Yeah, I guess, but things that happen when other people aren't around. So anyway, he sent us a second email, and it was a good thing he did because I needed a show topic for tonight, kind of on the fly, and I was batting zero. And
he gave this topic.
He gave this topic, and Instrumental Transcommunication. Now, let me tell you my experience with Instrumental Transcommunication. It involves watching the movie White Noise.
Right.
That's all I've ever done. I've never actually tried it. And I said, well, I wonder who I can find who has tried this. And after a long and hard search, I picked up the phone and called one person.
And the least person that you would have thought about.
Yeah, I called David and I said, have you ever heard of this? You know, and he's like, heard of it? I've done it. I'm like, well, all right then. We got a show.
It's one of the things that you do whenever you got a lot of toys, video cameras and recorders, things like that, that you're not able to go out and ghost hunt because of the weather, so you stay at home and play.
Well, and that's what JD here says that it's a good way to do some domestic ghost hunting, and he tells us how he does it and everything. Says he's caught a couple of little things there. But, so JD, man, thanks for listening, and thanks for the show idea.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
No doubt. Like I said,
keep them coming.
He's a well-spoken young man. He seems like a nice young man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like this kid. Yeah. Well, young man. You know, when I was that age, I didn't like being called a kid.
Well, see, there you go. It goes back to the Mr. thing again. When I said you're getting old enough that people start calling you Mr., you're referring to everybody as kids.
Yeah.
So you're acknowledging...
I'm getting old.
Yeah, you're acknowledging the fact that you're older than he, and
I'm getting old.
You're getting old. Yeah. But you know the bad thing about it is I'm older than you.
You don't act like it though. I think I act older than you. I act like I'm 70 sometimes. You know.
I feel like I'm 70.
Go to the mailbox with a walker and a bathrobe.
After these last 2 weeks, me and you both ought to be at least 100.
Dear God, I'm just glad that my cases all got resolved and rescheduled and pled out and. Bench warrants taken out for people not showing up.
Yeah, it's fairly much over. There's a little bit left, but my part and your part is fairly much done now.
Thank God. I am, you know, those of you that don't know, we both work in law enforcement. David's out in the field. I babysit the people that he captures, but I still have to go to court far too much, running DUI tests, fights in the jail. Catching people trying to shoot other people.
Yeah, well, you know, not that the good listeners want to know, but we were told today that I think they have disposed of 152 cases.
For that little town, that's a lot.
In less than a week and a half. And, of course, you know, it's just like anywhere, biggest majority of that is drug problem.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm just glad it's wrapping up. It's ridiculous.
That's just the cases that were disposed of. We still have a lot of cases that's unresolved.
I've got, 3 of mine are still outstanding. Out of the 5 I had this week, 3 are still outstanding but have been continued. Yeah. Whoop-de-frickin-do. Well, I'll catch them next term of court.
Well, it's 6 months.
Thank God.
That's 6 months. We'll have peace and quiet to ghost hunt.
We'll build more cases. Paranormal and otherwise.
You're right.
All right. So, Instrumental Transcommunication that's the show. Again, thanks, JD. I know I've said your name like 47 times here, but hey, it's some of the best feedback we've got in a while.
Yeah.
This guy is...
It's not all the feedback we got.
Oh, Lord, no.
But
no,
he went more in depth.
And, I mean, we have our regular Mike.
Yeah.
Over Midwestern way. He's stays in contact with us, and we appreciate him. And Ron from down in...
Even though Ron didn't agree with me on my assessment of the bathroom EVPs, he took Cindy's side on it. I actually sent him a disc, and he run it through his sound works down there, and he agrees with Cindy that it's probably going to be somewhere closer to matrixing than it is. Cindy's sitting back there laughing. Yeah, actually, she's doing a lot more than laughing. I wish I had a camera. But he sided with her and said that he believes that it's going to lean more toward the matrixing side. And, I'm going to respect that. And I'll even respect Cindy. The bad thing about it, Cindy's been real bad sick.
Absolutely, and I'm glad she's back.
And
glad she's back.
And we've missed her dearly here.
Absolutely. The
last 3 or 4 times that we've got together and done these shows. But I honestly don't think, and answer this truthfully, did you listen to last week's program at all? She's sitting there in shame, shaking her head no. Because if she had listened to the show, she at the last part of the show, she would have heard how I was on the radio, and I was saying how much that I wish my wife would get better, how much I loved her, how much that I would just be devastated if anything ever happened to her.
Absolutely.
And I said all that just to prove a point that if she's not here, she don't listen to the program.
Yeah,
I do sometimes.
Well, he
did this week.
He did pledge his undying love.
See, that's one listener less than we had the week before.
And the numbers reflect
it. Bite me, I'll listen to it.
As you can tell, it don't take very much to get her started, but
evidently,
I meant every word I said last week on the radio, and I think that she knows that. But we are absolutely just ecstatic about having her back.
Absolutely, spice in life. Everybody needs a little spice in life. I love it. But he actually did. He pledged his undying love and devotion to you.
I'm fixing to leave this room and go get some boots.
Yeah, why don't you just listen to last week's program and you'll see I'm not telling a lie.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
Listen.
My duty boots are in the next room. They're in there if you need them. They zip up, I'm lazy. I don't tie boots.
You're going to have to lower your voice.
Some waders.
Well, you're going to have to lower your voice just a little bit because the dogs are going to start howling outside if you don't.
And that concludes this episode. Wait. No, Lord.
Open mouth, insert foot, and sleep on the couch. That's exactly what I just done.
Yeah, let's...
We're going to talk about ITC. I want to hear about this.
Okay.
Let's talk about ITC, Instrumental Transcommunication. Good segue there, Cindy. She needs to be our director, I think. Need to have her back there saying, "Shut up and talk."
She makes a good one because she directs me on everything, so she would make a good one.
Everybody's got skill. Certain skills they can do.
Oh, you realize that you ain't been here in 2 or 3 weeks, so we've got to pick on you just a little bit.
I haven't seen you in a month.
No,
I have not seen you since what? The meeting where we all nearly went to jail, and that episode after that week.
We didn't nearly go to jail.
Yeah, I was calling my friend Larry to get me out. But man, do you come this far over? No.
No, we didn't almost go to jail, but it was an eye-opening experience.
It was an incredible experience. You've already heard us talk about that. So let's talk about Instrumental Transcommunication, David. Now, a lot of people get EVP and ITC. That's what we're going to call.
Right.
Yeah, because I get sick saying Instrumental Transcommunication, ITC for short, folks. They're similar. I mean, actually, EVP could be considered a subset from what I read today, according to Jeff Belanger, which hope you're listening, Jeff. And I think he liked the show.
I think he did.
Anyway, got some information from Jeff's book, Communicating with the Dead, about this instrumental transcommunication. And, both are using technology to make contact.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of attempts. I mean, people with telephones, radios, TVs, computers.
Well, what you'll find, and it'll take a lot of people by surprise, is that the ITC method is widely accepted, both scientifically and otherwise. There's a lot of research going on in Germany, Japan, just to mention a couple of places, Brazil. There is a major ITC research group in Brazil.
Absolutely.
That are doing just tons and tons and tons of research on this with a lot of positive results.
And one thing I had read that, I don't know, some of the things you read on the internet, you just have to tilt your head and look kind of funny at, because they're said that their partners on the other side, the spirits that are talking to them, instructed on how to improve the method of getting through.
Well, no, that's one of the things that they're claiming with the ITC, is that not only are they getting help from the other side telling how much better it will be some other way,
right,
but that they're actually talking to their dead colleagues.
Yeah.
People that was in research to begin with, scientists and otherwise, and they're actually having communications with these dead folk.
Absolutely. And it's, I watched the movie White Noise, and I wasn't impressed except by those shadow things at the end, that were
I slept with a light on that night.
Bending around, me too, actually. Right. But, they were bending around corners and all. That was pretty cool. But, and they actually said they actually played some real ITC and real EVP in that movie. Like, some of that was real stuff.
Right.
And, but that's,
For the people that don't know the difference between the ITC and the EVP, in that particular movie, when it showed the pictures on the television screen, that's ITC.
Yeah, that's a picture.
That is a visual ITC. Now, you've got a couple of different types. You got audio,
right,
which is basically off of tape recorders. It can even come off a computer.
Yeah.
And then you've got the video ITC, which is primarily video.
Right.
And which is what I played with.
Right. And for those that are not as familiar, or just as familiar as I am, I should say, it's better, because all I know is what I've read. The gist of how you set this up, I think, is this. You take a camcorder, right?
Right.
And you point it at the TV, put it on a tripod, pretty much.
Well, you have to, because if you don't, you shake so bad.
Right.
You're not going to be able to see anything. So it has to be tripoded.
Right. And so you run a line out so that the video from the camcorder is playing on the TV.
Yes.
And then you zoom into the TV screen, so that's all that's on the screen is what's being taped by the camcorder, which is just a TV screen, and it creates basically a video feedback loop.
Well, it's not, it's not, it's not actually that simple, but it's that simple to hook up.
Right.
But what you're getting is feedback.
Right.
Between the television and the video camera.
Right.
And it creates a static type material on the television, and it depends on the closeness that you get to the TV and the video about exactly what type of pattern that you will have on the television. Now, once you start videotaping, all you're going to see on the television is just either static, white noise, or some type of circular psychedelic pattern of what looks like just a bunch of ink blots, making its way from the center of the TV screen to the edge of the flat part of the TV screen.
Right.
And you're not actually, probably, now in some cases they have been known to, but you're probably not going to actually see anything while you're sitting there watching this, taping this.
Right.
It's when you come back to the playback that you can pick up the images.
Right, because part of what Jeff Belanger had said in his book was that it takes a frame-by-frame playback.
Yes.
So, a camcorder generally records, 22 to 30 frames per second.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Yeah,
it's going to take a while.
But now, and you know me, I love www.download.com.
Yeah.
That's one of my meat and potato places to go.
Right.
They have a program on there. It's freeware. It doesn't cost a dime. Called Area 51.
What does it do?
It's a playback frame by frame of the video. You can download your video onto your computer if you got digital.
Right.
And then you use this program in order to play it back. And you can go in and either make still frames of the whole video, or individually go through and click and make still frames, like taking a picture, and then go back and view the frame itself.
Wow.
And it's absolutely great. I've used it a lot whenever I was running the video camera as much as what I did. And I used it on the ITC at home whenever I was recording with a video camera.
Wow.
Go in and do it frame by frame. And on the frames, what you're going to find is that in most cases, it's not going to be this lovely picture of somebody deceased that looks like, a television screen sitting there with their face on it.
Right.
You're going to have very small images. You're going to have humanoid type figures. Most of them will be in the static that you see on the screen. And it's very interesting. Very interesting.
From what there's a few pictures on the net. World ITC, I think, is a place to get them.
That's one.
www.worlditc.com or .org. .org actually is what it is. They got some good pictures on there.
Yeah, they talk about the Schreiber, or is it Schreiber?
Schreiber, tomato.
Yeah, Schreiber method.
Yeah.
Depends if you're from Germany or the United States, I guess.
Yeah. What is that method? I didn't read that far.
Basically what we just got through talking about, where you hook it up and you get the video feedback. That's basically that method right there.
That's pretty interesting. I think that's what JD was using, this method here. So there's other methods.
Well, there's several other methods. Some of it is a lot more complicated and uses a lot more complicated devices than what the average person has got at home. I mean, we're talking about scientific equipment here that has no other purpose other than to try to record ITC, which is going to be out of my reach anyway as far as pocketbook goes.
Yeah.
But, you're even with just the Walmart special, you go down, buy a Sony video recorder, digital recorder, so that you can download it onto your computer. You're looking at about, what, $300 right there, maybe a little bit less.
Which you can also use ghost hunting.
Right, and it comes with the audio cords.
Right.
And then all you need is a television and a tripod, or something to set it on where it won't move.
Bookshelf.
Or bookshelf.
Yeah.
But for, less than $450, something like that, I mean, you can basically start playing at home.
I'm sure you probably already got the TV at the house.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
actually,
97% of Americans have televisions. Actually, more than one television.
Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6.
Really?
We got 3 kids. Plus, I've got my sister-in-law living at the house. She's got one.
Yeah.
So there's 4 right there. Plus we got one in our bedroom. That's 5. And then we got one in the living room. Oh, I'm sorry. And then I got an extra one now since I got a new monitor for my computer. So that's 7 TVs that we've actually got.
Wow.
Not hooked up, though.
6 of them are.
6
are hooked up. I got one spare.
Well, see now this computer, this server that I'm using here at the house, the big box there, has got a cable TV connection to it. So technically, we can watch TV on this computer.
Right. Well, see, the thing about it is you can actually use your computer to do ITC. You don't have to have a TV connection to it.
Oh.
All you got to do is hook your audio cords up from your camcorder to the back of your computer back here on your audio levels and record. And you can actually record ITC off of your computer monitor.
Huh. On audio? What do you mean video?
Video and audio.
Video and audio. Wow. Well, that's interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Will it record it as you do it on the computer?
No, not on the computer. You still have to use the camera. You record it on the video camera.
Yeah.
But you use the screen, the computer screen,
to generate the feedback,
the ITC.
Yeah. And then you still have to download it.
And I'll tell you something else.
Yeah, I would think.
When I was playing with the ITC thing, you'd be surprised at the number of EVPs that you'll actually pick up.
Oh,
because you're doing the video, but if you've got the microphone on the video camera, which I always kept mine running, you got to be careful because if you don't keep it turned down, you're going to get a lot of audio feedback. But when you're running that, you're picking up EVPs like mad.
Wow!
Not only from probably the house that you're in, but also from the TV as well. So what entities that you're seeing in the screen right there are also sending messages.
That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
What blowed my mind about it was how they were talking about they were actually carrying on one conversation, two-way conversation, lasted for 13 minutes.
Between these scientists and these people on the other side.
And the dead colleague that was on the other side. 13 minutes of two-sided dialogue. I would love to come up with the audio of that and listen to it.
Now, something I had read on the internet too talked about a spirit box that they had created, back near the 80s or something, that was basically like a walkie-talkie to the other side, and it was pretty incredible.
I hadn't heard of that one,
yeah, it used a frequency modulator and was able to generate like 13 or 20 tones or something that are normal to the male human voice box.
Right.
And then these spirits could just remodulate those 13 tones to speak just like you and I. Very weird.
Well, some of the images that they capture on ITC are just mind-boggling.
I'm looking at some of those right now. David, you brought some with you.
Yeah, I actually done a little bit more research on it before I came up here and pulled some of the pictures off the internet. And, you know, the one particular site we was talking about a few minutes ago, what was it?
WorldITC.org.
Yeah. They've got some actual incredible stills off the video of faces of people that they have confirmed to have been deceased.
Yeah.
I know y'all can't see it, but I'm showing right now a picture of King Ludwig II.
Yeah.
And then this is an image that was pulled off of ITC.
Oh, wow. That looks...
Similarities are just
the hair,
uncanny.
The goatee, the mustache.
Everything.
That's a unique mustache, too.
Very, very unique.
Wow.
But, I mean, even Albert Einstein has been reported to have been visible on ITC.
Albert Einstein. Huh.
That's him right there.
Yeah.
That
looks like the mustache, too.
That looks like Albert Einstein.
Yeah.
I mean,
big
there's
fluffy
not
hair
much
and
you
everything.
can say about that. That looks like Albert.
You know, this picture right here, I think it looks... I guess it was recorded before death, though, but that looks reminiscent of Mother Teresa.
Similar.
Does it not?
It does. I'm not sure who it's supposed to be, but it's very, very similar.
Death, though.
But now, you know, they're capturing images and having two-way conversations with people they know to be deceased.
Right. People they personally knew.
Personally knew. Not somebody that was reported to have died.
Right.
Not somebody said that they could have died.
Right.
But people that they actually know are deceased. People that they knew. And they're actually carrying on two-way conversations with these people. And it's through the ITC. Just very, very, very strange.
Very strange. And it looks like the thing, I mean, in these conversations, I'm just reading some of the notes here, folks. I apologize if I'm not talking and boring you here because you can't hear me reading. But they're talking about there are... I mean, it's like a different world over there. This guy is actually... Well, yeah, it is. But this Klaus Schreiber, he died in 1989 and has allegedly sent pictures of himself in his spirit body and his new spirit world home in Luxembourg, Germany, back to this site.
Right.
Freaky deaky.
Yeah. Yeah, and even Cindy's got to admit that even the photographs that we're looking at now are pretty...
Well, that's not matrixing. I'll say this. That's not matrixing.
No, not when you've got that much detail. I mean, you've got eyes, nose, mouth. You can see
facial
eyebrows, facial expressions. I mean, it's not matrixing.
Now, one of these looks like a crash test dummy, though.
Well, now the ones I did, and of course I didn't play with it for probably about a month is all I played with it, and I haven't been back to it. I said I was, but I haven't.
Right.
And it's basically because we've been so busy with everything else. Most of the images that I did capture off of it were not the quality that you will see on that internet site right there.
Yeah.
You could tell that it was a humanoid shape. You could see occasionally you could make out a real good clear face, but they were very, very small images.
Right.
Now what they're capturing here is just absolutely amazing.
Oh, it's incredible stuff.
Because it looks like it's the full screen.
Right.
I mean, it's an image the size of the full screen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just some little minute thing that matrixing might look like, you know, a face or a body or something like that. There's no doubt that these were people.
Right. Yeah. These are humans. It's not humanoid. This is human.
Humans. Very human.
Wow. Yeah, it's. I mean, I encourage you folks to. Too bad we don't have a video podcast or a video broadcast. I don't like to
probably
call this
a good thing we don't have a video.
Yeah, Yeah.
Very good. Very good
You'd
thing.
see me in a ripped T-shirt and an old pair of BDUs. But
wouldn't see Cindy sitting back here threatening to hit us either.
Yeah.
We were being ugly to her.
Yeah, that's... well, anyway, you need to go to this website, worlditc.org, and look at this Schreiber method. I'm bad with names. I said that 20 times this week to people.
I believe it's pronounced Schreiber.
Schreiber, I think it's close, yeah. Check it out, though. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
And what we're going to do now is, of course, take the obligatory commercial break.
Good, because I got to go.
Yeah. So we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Sure, everybody wanted to know that.
Well, everybody does it. We'll be back. Hey, folks. Mike Watkins here. Many of you know me as the host of Georgia Paranormal Radio, but I'm also the founder and general manager of the Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team, which is an anchoring sponsor of this program. The Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team was founded back in 2004 as a scientifically based research and documentation team. This investigative group has over 17 years of combined experience in dealing with the paranormal, and the unique perspectives and specialties that each member investigator contributes really gives you the full package. You can trust the Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team to thoroughly, yet discreetly and confidentially, investigate and document any paranormal phenomenon that you may be experiencing. The Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team serves a large area of North Georgia, North Alabama, and even Southeast Tennessee. As always, their time and services are 100% free of charge. All they ask for is an invitation from you to let them investigate those cold spots, bumps in the night, or anything else paranormal. And contacting them couldn't be any easier either. Just go to www.nwgapit.com and check them out. The Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team, proudly bringing you Georgia Paranormal Radio and proudly investigating what you fear. All right, folks, we are back, and I thank you for making it through that commercial break. Now, Cindy and David have played musical chairs in the commercial break here. Cindy has ponied up to the old microphone here, and hey, I guess we're going to do some more viewer suggestions / questions / feedback. Why do I keep calling people viewers today?
I don't know.
Thank God you people can't see us, but I've said viewers like 4 times. I've caught myself. That is so weird. So, other questions. One of the most common questions that we get isn't about anything as technical as ITC or anything like that. It's, how do you get started paranormal investigating? Well, I guess you got to be crazy enough, brave enough. There's a thin line between bravery and insanity.
We've crossed it.
Yeah, to which side, though? I don't know. But you got to have the desire to go out there. You need to have a reason for doing it. I mean, you can't just go out and paranormal investigate or ghost hunt or any of that stuff just for giggles. I mean, most people have a desire for it. They want to know is there life after death? What's on the other side? They want to know if this stuff is real. I found that thrill seekers, people that do it just for the giggles or the excitement or the rush of it, don't last very long.
Right.
So there needs to be some method to your madness, at least. I recommend, and not touting my group or our group, I should say, or anything like that, but there are a lot of good paranormal groups out there, and if somebody's just getting into it, I recommend you find one with a good reputation, who does not violate the law, who doesn't trespass, who doesn't doctor evidence, and just find a group and learn from them. There are people that have been doing this 10, 20 years that, there's no expert, but they know a lot more.
Right.
They know the do's and the don'ts. They know the good places to go. And, get started that way. Get in with a group of like-minded individuals. I mean, obviously, if you're a Baptist, you're not going to want to hook up with a group of ghost hunters that worship the devil. Yeah, I mean, and that's an extreme, comparison. But with the same token, if you have a specific set of beliefs to you, you're not going to want to be traipsing around with people that put down your beliefs.
Right. You do want to be with a group of like-minded people.
Absolutely. You want to have the same mission and purpose as they do. I mean, our group is pretty well scientific, though we do, dip here and there into dealing with certain things like dowsing and things like that, but pretty much scientific. Now, yeah, there's a big honking cross on our symbol. That's because I put it there because it's my faith. Some people don't have that faith, and that's okay. Our group doesn't focus on faith-based investigations. We're just a group of people who want to scientifically prove to the whole world, and actually to ourselves, that there's something out there. You start out trying to prove it to the whole world, you're in a world of trouble, because not everybody's ever going to believe. But I started out to prove something to myself.
Yeah.
But these thrill seekers, nah, they're not going to last. The next question we often get is paranormal photography. How do you do it? Well, if you can take a lens cap off and you can push down a shutter button, there you go. It's not brain surgery. I mean, I'm sorry to make it sound simple, folks, but you know what? It's simple. This is not rocket science. Okay? Take a lens cap off, go somewhere where you think there's a ghost, and take a freaking picture.
Push the button.
Hello.
And then push it again, and push it again, and
Right.
push it again, and push it again, and push it again.
Right.
And push it again and again and again.
You're not going to get one in the first picture you take. You may not get one in the 1,000th picture you take. But, keep at it. Nose to the grindstone. Little engine that could. I think I can. Eventually, by doggy, you'll get something. I've always said that the hardest part of this is doing the evidence analysis.
Yes.
For every hour you put in out in the field, you're going to spend 2 to 3 hours analyzing evidence.
Or more.
Or more, depending on how sophisticated you get. I mean, if you take a digital camera, a recorder, and a camera with you,
right,
you better be good at multitasking. Or you're going to spend a day. Hours, plural.
Ahead of you.
Oh, yeah. Another thing. Always get this question, and I'm not putting people down for asking questions. The only stupid question is the one that's not asked. So, how do you record EVP? Well, again, folks, if you can turn the recorder on and hit the record button, there you go. There's no magical spell or charm that I can tell you, to conjure them up and make them talk. You're not going to make them do anything.
No.
Number one. If there's something there that wants to communicate with you, then it's going to do it. Period. If they don't want to talk to you, then they're not going to talk to you. They might tell you to get out. And that happened a lot.
Or growl at you.
Had that happen before. David is really the EVP specialist in my book, because I'm an EVP repellent. These things don't like me. It's like most of the people I know. They don't like me. But they really don't. But most of these spirits don't want to talk to me. Now, David, they won't shut up. I mean, they just talk to David for hours and hours and hours, it would seem.
You call me by name.
Yeah, I call you by name. They call me other things. They call me names.
They talk about killing the big one.
Yeah, and I'm the big one. So, if you can turn the recorder on and you can press that record button, then guess what? You're doing EVP work. You're taking EVP samples. You might not get one on your first recording. You might be like me and not get one on your 100th recording. Every now and again I get lucky and get a few. But, you might be like David and they may not shut up. So, the basic thing again, though, is you have to think about this, for every hour that you run that recorder, you got an hour's worth of audio to listen to. And then, if there's something there, you have to go back and listen again, and listen again, and listen again. And
slow it down.
Right, enhance it, filter, and that gets into another thing. You need a good sound editing program. Not necessarily to edit the program, but to at least get it on your computer.
Right.
Unless you buy a recorder that comes with a USB connection, you're going to have to transfer this thing onto your computer with the old analog way, a male-to-male connector. Plug it in over here on the recorder, plug it into the computer's microphone or auxiliary or input jack, whatever your computer has. Not all computers are different.
That, then you have however much time you record it.
Right.
Is how long it takes
to transfer
to download it to your computer.
Right.
Then you have that amount of time again to listen to it.
I recommend if you have that old style, which I do. Yeah, I know it's 2007. I still hadn't bought a USB recorder. But set it up, start it to recording. Hit play on your recorder, record on your computer's programming, and go make dinner, go wash the dishes, take a nap.
Yeah.
And when you wake up, it might be done. So, and then you got to edit it. And by editing, I mean, it's not adding something or taking away, but you really need to slow down parts of it or enhance the audio in some parts of it just to tweak that voice out of there because, most EVP, Cindy and David both, are not going to be like this. I'm dead. I've been dead 400. You see how, they're not going to be like, it's going to be like, I'm dead. I've been dead 400 years. And it's going to be quick, and it's going to be fast, and it's going to be so subtle that you might miss it if you're not paying attention. So, you really need to listen with a good audio program and a good set of headphones. Headphones make all the difference in the world. That's as simple as it can get.
But now sometimes it'll just sound like static when you're listening to it, and then you slow it down.
Right.
And that static becomes a voice.
Sometimes you can reverse them and get voices. That's not very accepted right now. I know that whole X-Class EVP thing, and we've talked about it, probably a dozen times in the run of this show.
Yeah, I kind of have a problem with that myself.
I used to, but I've heard too many things, Cindy. I really have. And then, moving on from the EVP and your analysis, how do you capture a ghost on video? Because certain groups out there want it, and I'm saying the popular groups. I can go ahead and say this. I'm not slandering them by saying this, but TAPS. The holy grail to them is capturing a full apparition on video. They say unless it's on video, they don't really take too much stock in it. And, again, video work is, how do you record video? Well, you set up the camera, or you walk around with it, you hit record. Then what happens? Well, you analyze the evidence. It's basics. People ask questions like that, though. Dowsing. People have asked me, I've mentioned dowsing a couple of times. How do you dowse? I don't know. I don't know how you dowse. I'm not very good at it. You're not really doing anything, I don't think. You hold the rods. That's all there is to it. Now, there is a better way to hold the rods. You have to do what's comfortable to you. But, you hold the rods, you ask yes and no questions. I should have said that about EVP work. You need to ask questions. That helps. Sometimes you don't have to, right, Dave?
Right.
Sometimes they just scream at you.
The whole thing about EVP, though, if you're wanting to prove the validity of it, is to get an intelligent response.
Right.
Not some mindless babble or, just words thrown together, but actual, an answer to a question that you ask.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what you're looking for. So I left that part out. Sorry, I left that out of the EVP equation. Ask questions. Have a conversation.
But give them time to answer.
Well, sure. Oh, yeah. You don't want to say, when did you die? What was your name? And there's no time. How would you do that if a human did that to you? You'd tell them to shut up and let me answer.
Yeah.
Give the spirit time to actually respond. What other kind of questions do we get about the basics of paranormal investigating? Good places to go. Well, I think every place has some kind of spirit activity in it. They're everywhere. Battlefields are good, though. Hospitals, hotels, schools, cemeteries, obviously.
Well, here...
Churches.
Tragic events.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where, there's been a major car wreck or a fire.
Don't be part of a major car wreck if you go out.
Yeah, really.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here in Georgia we have, well, not just in Georgia, all through the Appalachian Trail. Here we have the Pinoti Trail.
Pinoti Trail, yeah.
That's part of the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah.
And that part of it was part of the Trail of Tears.
Yeah.
Places like that, you can expect, of course, if you live in South Georgia, Andersonville,
Savannah.
Places
for
like
the love
that.
of God. Charleston, South Carolina. I say anywhere where humans have lived for quite a while is going to be more heavily haunted. There's always someplace around, though, to go. Waverly would be nice, but...
63,000 plus.
Speaking of, I bought the movie Death Tunnel tonight.
Special coming on tomorrow night, sci-fi.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to watch that. Anyway, I can't think of any more paranormal investigation basics.
Just do it. That's it.
And I hate to be ugly. No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm not going to lie. I don't hate to be ugly. I'm good at it. I'm good at speaking my mind. And had this fella for a very long time would email me about every 10 days to 2 weeks asking me how to be a paranormal investigator, how to do this, how to do that. This went on for years. Literally years. And I finally had enough. I sent David a copy of the email, actually, that I had fired off to this guy. But I basically said to him, you actually have to get off your couch, go out in the field, and do some work for yourself. Nobody can do this for you. Mom or dad, brother and sister, wife or uncle, whatever, cannot go out and collect this evidence for you, analyze it for you, and then you claim it as your own. You need to get out, you need to do the work, put in the time, and there you go.
Yeah,
That's how you be a paranormal investigator. You spend a lot of cold or sweaty nights, depending on the season, out in the middle of nowhere sometimes, in uncomfortable situations, talking to people that may or may not be there. Sometimes you go to bad neighborhoods. Sometimes you go to run-down old houses where you're afraid you're going to fall through the floor.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get the privilege of going to big old mills and things that have been around 150 years old.
So cool.
Sometimes you go out in the middle of battlefields where you're afraid you might get snake bit. But, the key to all that is you got to go. And,
you got to go do it.
Yeah, you got to get off your couch, go collect the evidence, and just get your butt out there and do it. Not to say that I mind answering questions about how to do this or how to do that, but that's what it boils down to, folks. Get off the couch, get your butt out in the field, and do it. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Go to Walmart, buy you a digital recorder, and put you some batteries in it.
Yeah.
And push the button.
That's, no better way to say it. Well, Walmart should be paying for this podcast or this broadcast because really? I think I've mentioned them twice already tonight. Anyway, wow, where has the time gone? Y'all got anything else? That's most of our listener stuff that's come in. I didn't call them viewers. Hey, I didn't call y'all viewers. That's most of our listener stuff that has come in, recently. JD, good question. You gave us a half an hour topic to talk about, man. I appreciate you. Hit me up with something for next week. Well, actually, 2 weeks from now, because that show still hadn't been completely set in stone yet either. So hit me up with something else you want to hear about. And, hey, that goes for the rest of you folks out there, too, not just JD. You can send your show ideas, your comments, your suggestions, your large monetary donations to me, Mike Watkins. Actually, you can get me at Mike, M-I-K-E, at nwgapit.com. You can get Cindy or David the same address. Instead of Mike, put their first name. Because we've all got staff email accounts there, and hey, I'm paying for them, so you might as well use them, right? Right.
Yeah, no doubt. Send us an email.
Send something, man. Make me earn, or let the server company earn their money for this stuff.
Or next time they're on MySpace.
Hey, yeah, I about forgot MySpace. Good call, David. MySpace.com/NWGAPIT. That's me. Or MySpace.com/TheOldArcher. That's all one word. That's David. And MySpace.com/TheGhostHuntress is going to be for Cindy. And if you can't remember all that, then just go to our homepage at www.nwgapit.com. Because right there on the very, very front, right under that big, ugly picture of me talking about Georgia Paranormal Radio, is a link to all 3 of our MySpace pages. Oh, Cindy looks surprised. You hadn't been to the website and seen the update I did a couple of weeks ago?
She listened to the program last week.
Oh, dear God.
I've been sick.
Yeah.
I've been very, very sick.
You're about to be in trouble, and very, very much trouble.
I have.
I'm demoting you to operations manager. No, what? It's a demotion, not a promotion. Trust me, David gets
You gonna cut my pay?
Yeah. I'm taking you down to twice of nothing.
Oh no.
David puts in a lot of work for us, and so does Cindy. Cindy helps me proofread the website.
I've been sick.
Yeah, she's been sick.
I really have.
Yeah, she
I've
has.
Been very, very
and
sick.
if you had listened to the radio show, you would know that we've been talking about you and wishing you well. So anyway, Cindy's supposed to proofread the website and make sure that.
Sick to listen.
Yeah,
You couldn't hear because you're sick.
I've been in bed. I have been in bed.
God knows they don't make MP3 players or anything, or
Well, I don't have one.
laptop
You gonna
computers.
buy me one?
You gonna buy me one if I buy you one? We'll trade them out.
You can't say we haven't got a laptop anymore.
I know it.
With a wireless card in it. Anyway, Cindy's supposed to proofread the website and the message board. She helps me moderate the chat room whenever it's in use, which here of late it has not seen any use at all because, man, there's nobody there. It's like a friggin' ghost town in there. Excuse the pun. No pun intended. But Cindy and David put in a lot of work. David has taken some load off of me over the year, and so has Cindy, because my obsessive-compulsive disorder means that I have to proofread everything 20 times. And knowing that Cindy will eventually proofread it and help me catch any mistakes I make.
I will. And I'll listen to the stinking show.
Oh, stinking. That's another cut and pay.
You're getting triple of that.
Yeah, triple of nothing. Somewhere you're going to start owing me something. No. Well, yeah, I appreciate them a lot. I don't say it enough, but, I do. Their contribution to the group and to the show and to me, because they're my friends, has made a lot of difference. And I don't tell them I appreciate them enough. I don't tell the listeners that I appreciate them enough. So that's what I'm doing now. I appreciate everybody. And
we appreciate you. Let's just all sit here and appreciate.
It's
for
a big
minute.
group hug. Are you feeling the love out there, people? Anyway, send us your comments, your feedback, your suggestions. Be our little friends on MySpace. Hey, you're still killing me with friends. I mean, not that it's a popularity contest or anything, but for the love of God, you people have so many more friends than I do. That is, again, the public hates me.
I'm getting somewhere between 3 and 5 a day requests for friends.
Well, if those people would quit hitting me with those porno requests, I might could get some real friends through.
Yeah, that's one of the problems.
But, good Lord, maybe, I think I average maybe 3 or 4 friends a week. But, hey, 3 or 4 is better than nothing. I'll take what I can get. And, so hit us up on that. Look us up on the website. Going to be adding some more pictures here in the next week or two. Going to do that. And, hey, we've run almost an hour.
Yeah. Well, tell you what, I got something else here.
Oh, okay.
My next few shows that I plan to do,
which you've been working hard on, I'm told.
I have, up until the last couple of weeks, because I've been sick.
Yeah.
So I plan, well, we call what I do Hot Topic.
Hot Topic Talk.
But now this, rather than Hot Topic, it's going to be more like Off the Deep End.
Off the Deep End Talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been looking up some things, some paranormal stuff, besides just ghost hunting. Other types of things that are considered paranormal. UFOs, strange disappearances, the Bermuda Triangle, Atlantis.
Always been curious about that, too.
Looked up a lot of information about that.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody out there that's got any suggestions about anything that you would like to hear about that's stranger than strange? Or anything that you have that you want to share about those kinds of topics?
Yeah. Been to the Bermuda Triangle and got lost?
Yeah. Came back to tell about it?
Came back to tell about it. Tell Cindy.
Absolutely. Send me an email.
Because then she can sit over there and tell me, and I'll go, no, come on.
After-death experience.
Yeah.
Now, see, you're encroaching on my thing. I'm going to do a show here not too long ago.
That.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a show about near-death and after-death experiences. Because I've had one.
Well, remember, she wasn't here last week.
Yeah, you've got to listen to the last week's show because I told the story. I'm not going to retell it right now. But had one when I was like 5 or 6. I drowned. I died. Literally, I was dead. I was there. I remember it. And that's the key. I remember it. So anyway, any show ideas, any topics, anything that's way out there wild and wacky, send it over to Cindy.
Yeah, do. Or any questions that you have, any stories
that
you have pertaining to that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Send them to me.
Continue to send your, ghostly and paranormal and general stuff to me. Show ideas, suggestions, questions, all that stuff. Of course, me and David and Cindy would all love to hear your EVPs or see your photos.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll do that. And, hey, unless y'all got anything else. Well, all right, then. I thank you both, David, Cindy Westbrooks, being here tonight. Thank you, good folks, for listening to this rather impromptu, thrown-together show. Because, man, we just had a potluck on the radio.
Yeah.
And I hope it tasted all right. So, hey, thanks for listening. Stay tuned for next week's show. We're going to have some off-the-deep-end talk with Cindy. And, hey, appreciate you listening. Like I always say, folks, if you go out and do any investigating, take an extra few seconds, do things right, use a little common sense, and make it home safe. Because your family will appreciate it. I'll appreciate it when you tune in next time. And last but not least, you will appreciate being alive. Have a good night, everybody.
feet underground. We are 6 feet underground.